That's not what we're wanting, is it? One, two, one, two, two. That might be working. That might be working. Might not be. I don't really know. Let's just assume that it is. And stuff. Hello, welcome. This is just I've found that the time I have to give to things is slight and small and comes in small packages, and I can never find it. I was thinking actually that since having COVID, funnily enough, I've not really been able to do many evenings in the week. I just have no longer have the energy, but it is slowly returning, and so I need to be able to do more sort of late night occasional stuff. I mean, I'm just normally speaking about working, not just live streaming, but just normally spending time playing with my modular and enjoying that for itself was usually a late night activity I used to do that I haven't been able to. So it just means that things don't get done, and I've had these modules knocking around now for a week, and it pains me that I have not been able to plug them in. I haven't found the time to plug them in and try them out. So I thought, sod it, I'm not doing anything else right now. Being at like 9 o'clock at night on a Monday, so I thought let's plug them in and try it out. And while I'm doing that, why don't I just talk to the universe at the same time in some kind of solidarity? I don't know what the word is. Anyway, you're welcome to join me. I don't know how much attention I'll pay. Who knows? I'm not going to make excuses for myself before we even started. What I do have is a bunch of modules, and I've got to, some of them at least, have got to work themselves into this, my main case, the case I keep trying to restrict myself to in order to build a performable, movable, go to gig and do stuff case. This is the case in which the things, hopefully, I know the best. That's the plan. It doesn't always work out like that. There's stuff in here I never touch. So that's what's going to be coming out to allow me to stick some other stuff in that I really, really like. Up the top here, this one up here, this is sort of my overflow case. This is the stuff that I also really like that I don't have room for in my performance case, but will always be part of stuff that I'm doing in a larger way when I'm here. So that's also a factor, and that isn't complete at the moment either. So I've been doing lots of messing about as ever, putting things in, pushing things out. Disting Ken, I don't know where it is. I think it's I think a mouse ran off with it and is playing with it in a mouse hole over there somewhere. At least I hope so. Although, as I said to you, I think a little while ago, I do have a plan for the disting. If I can find space in my life, I will do that. Isn't what the two cases? This is the two cases. That's a third case. That's another case. That's my lovely orange case that I got before I got this case. Thinking that that's what I wanted. Thinking that was going to be my mobile case. No. Oh, two rows of not even 104. 2 rows, I think that maybe it is. That's not enough. That's not enough for anything. So, when I used the SQ64, did I think it would be a good live tool? Yes, I did. It has a lot of live performance elements under the shift button. You can change styles of probability. You can mute stuff in and out. You can change direction kind of on the fly. It's pretty good in that respect. It's not perfect. I think I really enjoyed it when I first had it, and that's why my review is very upbeat about it. But it has some flaws, I think. But I've also been talking to Korg about it, and they are in the process of working on it a bit to see what they can do to help out in just smoothing a couple of processes out and just making some things a little bit better. And that would greatly help it, I think, because I haven't used it a lot since. Because if you don't use it for a while and then you sit it there, it's a little bit of a head scratcher, and you go, whoa. So it's not brilliantly intuitive in that respect. But yeah, I mean, one of the things I like about it is its size. It's brilliantly compact and looks really nice in terms of live performance. You could probably do with a front to back thing to take all the cables out the back and a nice Molten's hole to poke the cables through, I would suggest. but yeah, it's good, but it has a particular way of working which I don't know, it takes a little bit of getting used to. It's like its step recording isn't as good as it should be. So one thing a sequencer in Modular should do a step record, and it doesn't really do that very well. So you're having to pull off live performances and then go, what did I do in there? Or note by noteness, which is too much step recording. I want that middle step record way. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to plug things in and just assume it's all going to work. So first thing I need to do is unplug everything. See, the downside of this is I'm going to end up with a load of other modules that are also on my bench, and that's frustrating. I want to be able to put new modules in and it just somehow expand to accommodate it. That's what I really like. So let me just put all the cables out first of all. And this camera is not looking at anything helpful. Why don't I sort that out as well? Because I thought that might be vaguely interesting. I have that like that. Does that work? Not gonna. Just don't you fall off. That's most things. It's a little bright, but it's not the end of the world, I suspect. Can I put it on a more of an auto-y type setting? No, I can't, because I can never remember how to work it. I think it already is. My hands just look particularly blotchy. Anyway, so that's a nice view you got of my stomach. Let me see if I can swap that around a little bit so we can see what I'm trying to achieve. Is that possible?
What number is that? 10?
Let's see what that looks like. Anyway, I'll just pull things out, I think, to start with. Let's have a good, healthy cable extraction. And then I'm going to have to give some thought into what stays and what goes. Glasses. Also, I need to have a beer. Two blurry things, really? Hope not. Hey look, there's someone over on Twitch. Maybe I'm blowing up on Twitch at last. It's all gone crazy over there with those kids. Having a lovely time, twitching, chatting. It's all free love and exciting and breaking new ground over on Twitch. Bill, I'd say it's more to do with desperation. It's more to do with do something. Do something. For heaven's sake, do something. Much more than it is ambition. I would say. I mean, I'm not for a moment suggesting that anything good is going to come out of this. And I work in an unreal situation where I have far too much modular than normal people. Ugh. Definitely two blurry squares. What squares? What are you talking about? Oh, see, you're talking. All right. I see what you're saying. Can I do anything with that while it's in mid-flight? Is that preferred? See now, I just get a checkerboard. That's no good, is it? I don't want that. Can I? I don't know that that's helping particularly. How about? Is that slightly better? Manual. Don't get me fiddling with that overhead camera. That won't get me anywhere. It's a flipping camcorder. Is that better? Okay. Well, we'll go with that then. We'll go with that. Just seemed a bit washed out. See, one of these days I'll have another GH5 and I'll use that for an overhead. So I'll actually have two like decent cameras with a similar shot set with similar settings. I mean, that would be extraordinary, wouldn't it? To think that you could have some kind of consistency. That's a step towards like doing things properly. That seems very unlikely. I'll leave those plugged in, I think. Think that plugged in? Yeah, I'll leave that plugged in. Okay. Just give it a quick. Get rid of some of the spider poo. Why is that doing that? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Spiders. Yeah, I mean, well, this is not that old a Sony camcorder. I just can't. It's just the menu drives me nuts, and I can't get into doing what I think, and whatever it is that I mess about with it on, it's never quite right. And then I put it back to auto, and it's kind of all right, good enough. And I know that through my experience with the GH5, is that if you set it well, the quality difference is massive, absolutely huge. But I can't seem to cope with it on this Sony. But it's been brilliant for close-up work on the soldering. Perfect for that, and it works well enough. It works well enough. I just can never get the quality of shot that I would really like to have. And I know that if I had another GX5 set to the same sort of settings, I could do it, you know. But my camera knowledge is small, very small. So what's coming out? Oh, That's a flipping question, that is. Well, let me start with my first intention, which is this. What am I showing it to now? Oh, under here, perhaps. Is it auto gonna focus? Who knows? Anyway, I've got these lovely Look Mum No Computer modules, and I believe I'm the first person to get these, pretty much, other than Sam himself and Christian, the guy who builds them. So this is the main reason why it pains me so much that I haven't been able to plug these in yet. I mean, it's just completely bonkers. You know, I have the privilege of getting my hands on such awesome modules, and it's just like, I need to find some space to put them actually in the machine. Sorry, excuse me. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I'm going to do first. And my thoughts in my head was that these two here, which is an oscillator and a filter, they are going to replace, are you ready? They're going to replace the Castor and Pollux and the grit analog filter. Hey, I know, it's radical, man. Absolutely radical. But I like the Castor and Pollux a lot, but it also gives me struggles, and I'd rather not have struggles. So I'm just gonna relegate that down to the overflow case for a bit, just to see if I can find it working better in a secondary fashion. Because I'm finding that I'm using less of it. I mean, I used to use all the waveforms all the time out of the output, and then could never remember which way round the button's supposed to be to make it sound in sync. And over time, I've kind of just taken more and more of it out and gone down to a single waveform on a single side. And once you get to sort of that position, you've got to think to yourself, well, why have it at all if you're not using its twin nature, you know? So that is the reason why that's coming out for the moment. Oh, lords, it's fixed rails. Bloody fixed rails. Oh, my life for sliding rails. I like sliding rails because you can just slide stuff about. But unfortunately not. You have to take the old bloody thing out. So I'm going to do a slight rearrange because I've really enjoyed the Honor oscillator and the Joe filter together. They have just worked brilliantly. So keeping that arrangement, but I'm going to shift the oscillator over here, I think, just to try to give myself some kind of consistency. So let's move these over, because I don't really see a case this size having more. I mean, two oscillators is not plenty, but it's enough. And I've also got the surface being an oscillator, you know, being a sound source. And I think I'd quite like, well, I've got another one to put in, and that, I think, four sound sources plus percussion is plenty. So that's my next thing after I've done this, but let's focus on this first. Yep, then this. Yeah, and then the grit filter. Funny thing about this, I mean, funny enough, I was having this discussion with Gaz just earlier, or was it yesterday? Can't remember. I have a lot of Gaz in my life at the moment, which is a beautiful thing. And just talking about how when you're doing a video on a module, on a single module, you can make it do all sorts of things. And it's a wonderful thing. And you get you get underneath the skin of it, you find out all sorts of things, you make sorts of beautiful sounds. And individually, lots of modules can be superb, but in a ensemble, sometimes they get lost somehow. And I found that with this, that I can't seem to... It's like the Jove wins all the time, constantly good, always good. It's like, well, that's good again. Yeah, no, it's still really good. Whereas this, it gets lost and I can't really find it. I mean, by itself, if I'm just doing a bass line through this and nothing else going on, fantastic. But in amongst other stuff, I'm not finding a way for it to behave like I think it should at the moment. So again, I'm going to put that to one side and I'm going to have a go with the loom bands. Nice. Have a go with the Look Mum No Computer ones. I think this is going to be joyous. Now, just for a comparison, I'll do a proper video on these in the next week or so. But let's see if I can find an oscillator. No. Have I lost it or something? Lost it or eaten it or something? But just comparison, is one of the Cosmo format. So the format that it originally comes from is this size, and this is the Eurorack version. So it's a massive difference, absolutely massive. Funny. And I don't know if you saw Sam, Heinbach and Cuckoo playing together, as they did over the weekend, I think. And Sam's actually using the Eurorack versions of his modules, which is very interesting. And like I say, I have some and I need to be using them. So here we go. This is all part of that. But I am still very much going to build a Cosmo format version. Most totally, absolutely. Love the idea. See, bloody fixed rails again. You end up with gaps everywhere. So I guess these are just going to have to take up the slack. So they've got slightly slidier ones. We'll transfer the gap to the side of the case. I am, yeah, always making room for stuff. I mean, I've got a sort of a couple of cases that I use for testing sometimes. If it's a module that I'm not sort of personally invested in, then I'll probably put it in something like my Nifty case and play with it in there. Oh, is that spider? But otherwise, yeah, I need to work it in to find out what on earth's going on with it. Talking nonsense. Right. So I guess we should make a noise with it to see what happens. But I'm not very patched in just now. But I'll turn it on at least, and that way we can make sure that it functions. That might be a good idea. Oh, that's right smart. Like that a lot. Like it. Did a really good job on these front panels. There's me on. Woo! Any smoke? No smoke. Good sign. Well, let's just patch the output. See whether it's making any noise. And also that this rig is wired in remotely at all. 2 inputs. Okay. This is rocking a little bit, which is annoying me. But it's sat up on something, probably. Or maybe that's just how these. Maybe it's just how it is. There is also that. Anyway, sorry, just making lots of noise. Yeah. Ba ba da ba ba da ba. I never know which way round this is. So put that all the way up. That's a thingy. That's an input. That's an aux. That's a volume. Oh, there's something. Bleeding built-in tuner. I mean, that's genius. Does it have an input for the tuner, I wonder? Hang on, I'm just getting your sound sorted out. You hear that all right? Woo! Very loud. Sorry, yes, I've tried to sort that out now. By the holes. But yeah, sure, I can just put it to the overhead if that's what pleases you. Anyway, I'm not here to play with that, not just yet. A lot more playing will come, right? A lot more playing will come. So, in order to develop this, is what? Oh yeah, is this fella here? Da, da, da. So this is my own decision and purchase and stuff like that. I mean, I should. As I said, might have said, where did this one come from if I used the other one? How did I do that? Do they connect internally? Didn't think they did. Did I miss that? Why do I have... What? Hang on. Just had a thought. Now I'm pretty sure the internal that they have on the Cosmo isn't on this one. So why do I have a third ribbon cable? Oh, I know, it's for that other fella. Yeah, all right, we'll come back to that. So, okay, forget that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, this fella here from Nano Modules is the Quart. And what it is absolutely brilliant. Well, at least I hope it is. I haven't plugged it in yet, as I say. But I'm forever been after simple envelopes, just simple envelopes. You know, I use envelopes for the majority of cases for creating a smallish bass sound or blippy sound and the filter. That's all I want. You know, I don't need something that goes, oh, it goes up and then, oh, does it go down? And then, oh, it goes along and then it goes down. Oh, does it go up again? Oh, I don't care. I just went boom, boom. That's it. Boom, boom, boom. And this probably not an attack, just boom, boom. And, you know, I've designed my own module in order to do that. I just haven't got around to doing anything with that yet. But in the meantime, looking for envelopes, I found all sorts of things. And I quite like the function junction and the fact that it had a function in there as well as an ADSR. But then this, I spotted this when I was looking for, I think they've just released another module, haven't they, that I wrote up about, and I can't remember what that was now. Something interesting. But I noticed they have this, and this is essentially 4 rise and fall envelopes. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's brilliant. That's all I want. That's all I want. And I can run both of my envelopes with this and avails. You're flipping sorted. Totally sorted. Yeah. So I'm going to stick this. Where am I going to stick this? Is that going to give me enough room? Don't think it is quite. But then I don't know that I need that one, do I? See, I could put all that together. That could be like a row of stuff, and that'd all be awesome. That'd be an entire dual voice thingy thing. Yeah, let's do that. Right. So yeah, that's my next thing, and that's going to be, I'm going to have a whole row of awesomeness. That's brilliant. I like it. I like it a lot. I kind of want a black panel on the veils now. Well, I'm going to need to find another VCA. Interestingly, this has got a VCA in it, so you don't actually need another one necessarily. So the Batumi's not going anywhere. That's going to go back in. I'm just rearranging a little bit. DivKid Oct, that's definitely staying. That's useful every day of the week. Particularly as the Batumi boggles me sometimes. Because it has like a load of features in which I wish I knew how to use. You know what I mean, Bill. You're with me every step of the way. Good job I haven't opened my beer yet. I'll do that once I've done this row, I think. So the DivKid stereo strip, I like it. I really like the panning effect it can do. But just for panning, I think there's a lot more in it, which I'm probably less likely to use. But I don't know. I mean, I think it has creative opportunities. It will depend. It's not a vital. I need to stick with vitals to start with, and then start bringing in the niceties. And I would see this as an interesting nicety, because that panning thing, I think, as I say, is great. And there's also this bit here doing a bit of a tilt, I think is nice. I like that. Mutes has become even more interesting because of the kick cane. I've now started using it for that, so that I'm sending a drum pattern to the kick drum in the kick cane, and then I can mute it, and I could use this more for that sort of thing. So I'm thinking of kind of combining this with the drum section down here. So I've got a bit more of instant control over percussive patterns. If I've got a pattern that's happening, that's great, but I need to be able to turn that off easily without necessarily having to dial about the place. So yes, but the whole percussive side of my rig is something which seems seemingly forever under development, and I haven't got there yet. I've had some good ideas. I've got a couple of good things in here which are doing the job at the minute, but oh no, I haven't. Oh, is that the red stripe? Yeah, that's the red stripe. Make it obvious, people. Make it obvious. So this is the envelope business. It's going to go in there. It's going to look sweet. So for beer opportunity, I've got, I don't even know what that is. Does that come some kind of Brussels sprout that's been stuck into a beer? I don't know. It was Father's Day, so one gets strange beer on Father's Day, I find. I mean, any beer is good, really. I'll try not to pour it into my rack. There's a whole bunch of people watching. Hello. You're very welcome. It's not expected. That's very kind. I'm just fiddling about, trying to put some new modules in, trying not to offend people by taking ones out. Doesn't taste like Brussels sprouts. Probably a good thing. Oh yeah, no, that's better. Right, that'll go over there. Don't tip over. Right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, it's only got two holes. So right, okay, so I've got a surprise module here, which is one of these. Look at that. That's a mini mod. This is an AJH Synth one. This is like proper stuff. Proper stuff. Proper real, like proper. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I know what I mean by that. As in, he makes stuff for real. Yeah, all this other stuff is just messing about, whereas this is like the real deal. And Divkid did a video on this recently, multi-burst envelopes, which looked quite fascinating. So Alan got in touch and said, would I fancy trying one out? And I went, yeah, well, yeah, I think so. So I might stick this in about here as well. Because that could, I mean, it's, what am I going to use it for? I don't really know. In my head, it's to do with kind of throwing bursts of multi-burst envelopes, you know, kind of bursts of triggers into things. So spicing up a percussive line, that kind of thing. Right, I'm going to take out this quad gate trigger. Quad gate 2 trigger. This has been a very useful module because I've been using the AJH Synth's dual envelope, which I like. But it tends to hang on to gates. What is that? What I mean? It's you kind of, because you kind of want to trigger these two envelopes together, one for your VCA, one for your filter. But you want them to work differently. I want to hold the gate open on the first one, whereas the second envelope I just want to be very quick to run the filter. And so in order to do that, I needed to get this module, which seems like, why doesn't it do it in the first place? Well, you know, which is the question. But this allows me to take in a gate and just output a trigger. So I can do a very quick fire on one envelope while the other envelope stays open using the same gate signal. So I kind of feel like I overkilled that really. But it was, you know, sometimes the solutions are not the most efficient ones and you find better solutions down the line. And that, I think, is one of those. I think that's one of those. See, this is looking slightly all odd and mismatched now, but there we go. That is what it's all about. That is what it's all about. Is this best fit here? Well, I was... No, that's good. That's good. That's fine. I'm happy with that. Just going to not put that completely in yet. So this is a useful thing, the pinhole from Tanglefoot. He's doing some great stuff, this old Tanglefoot these days. It's not Tanglefoot. Tenderfoot. Come on, get it right. And this, it's passive, it's just a low pass gate, Vactrals and things. It's good, it's useful. Not sure that I'm going to have the room for it just at the minute. I'm going to move my veils along and then put the Batumi on the other side. That's going to confuse the heck out of me because I've been used to having this veils over here. But I feel like having this in between isn't quite right. I think it should be on this side, or it should be all the way over here, or somewhere else entirely. Maybe that's the thing. So I do have another AJH here. He sent me two, and this is a tap tempo voltage controlled LFO. Fascinating. Maybe they should be together because they're kind of buddies, you know. Except that's not going to bloody fit. Look at that. But it's out by an HP. Oh, so this one's going to have to go downstairs. Okay. All right. I'll think about that for the minute. To be fair, I was probably going to be putting the AJH ones into a different case and look at them a bit more a bit more intentionally, a bit more individually, rather than in my performance case. But hey, I'm going to try something out. Might as well give it a go. Give it a go. Get the oscillator, you say? Okay, we'll see. Oh, can't quite get my fingers in. See, there's something about these rails that's not entirely right. Or, no, I mean, it could well be the modules. Could well be, I mean, the tolerance on these front panels is not always as good as it could be, I've noticed. But it is producing a few gaps at the moment. This fails, doesn't have any give in it. I mean, I find, I don't know anybody else, but rearranging my case has a massive effect on what I'm doing musically. Absolutely does. I mean, this isn't going to be a particularly massive effect because I'm kind of still keeping my oscillator section where it always has been. But yeah, I mean, rebuilding a case, something like that, it usually has a big effect. Takes you off in different directions and stuff. See, now I've got a whole row of new things that I'm not going to be able to understand, but I could certainly put something into, what could I do? So I've got two oscillators now. I could run them together. I could do that. That might sound interesting just for now, in which case I need a mult. Which I do have there, so that'll work. So what I could do is I'll just take well, I'm bound to be using my clock in other places, so why don't I put my clock into my mult to start with? That's always a good start. Then clocking out there. Then I'm really liking these noodles, by the way. These are Create Audio noodles. I like they have a springiness to them, a bounciness to them, which I quite like. They don't come out as well, perhaps, as some others, but I'm quite enjoying their playfulness. That can go into there. Then, but I'm combining it. I'm not that, I'm generally cable agnostic. I don't really mind where it comes from that much. Out into there. Oh, that went down the hole in the middle. That to there. I'll take the green one to honor. I'll take, I'm into Sawtooth's big way at the moment. That into there. And the out. I have to go into the veils. Oh, that one. Oh, Let's go green for that one. Into there. And take the output of the veils into the mixer. Or I could go individually. That might give me even more. I do have some spare channels down here at the moment because nothing else is going on. Green. I've ruined that, haven't I? I set that up as stereo before. So what I want to. I haven't looked at how any of these particularly work. So it may be that they are normalized. I'll have to find that out. Otherwise, I'll have to do something else with this. I do have this the right way around. Gate. So gate. Well, I guess that's trigger 1. We'll see what happens. So let's turn that on. See where we get to. Too loud. I have to go and turn myself up myself. So they're all triggering. think I think the quart is giving me LFOs where it's not plugged in. That's what I think is happening, which is interesting. So what I'll do is I'm going to mult my gate. Ugh. And just as an aside, that sounds flipping awesome. So that's not a bad thing, is it, to have something happen so amazingly? I mean, I'm not saying, oh look, I'm amazing. I just mean that, good lord, that sounds great. Let's see if I can make it even greater. Oh, I'm only going to have 3. Okay, well that'll do for the minute. Let's see if that's doing what I think it should. Only thing being, I can't always remember how to use something, like obviously. So, think about it, boy. Oh, there we go. I don't know, it's moving so fast it doesn't really need an envelope, I would say. And it. Christian, are you still in the chat? Is there a CV control over the cutoff? I mean, is there an attenuator? What do you mean it's not for everyone? Because this CV's for this attenuator's for the resonance, yeah? This one is for the shape of the clipping. Center is off. But is that for the cutoff? The one to the left. Oh yeah, right, okay, got it. Gotcha. Okay, well that was flipping awesome, if I don't say so myself. Yeah, okay. That was great. That was the right decision. Absolutely the right decision. And now it's making my Honor and Jove look bad. So what I have to do is get another pair of these. No, the Honor is still really sweet. It's just got to find its place. It can't. I don't think it can compete now at the same piece of stuff that it's doing. It's going to have to be doing something else. Interesting. So, not there yet. Not there. What time is it? Oh, gee whiz. Right. So, other things, just to show you what else I've got. What's this? Oh, yeah. No, I need to put that back in. Oh, geez. So, I've got a pair of... I've got well, actually, this is Christian's Rat, funnily enough, the Euro Rat, which I imagine is a distortion. It appears to be. Nice. And I got the Feedback Punk, which is also really nice. I've had a play with that already. So what I'm going to do, I've got this plan. I seem to be picking up distortion modules at the moment. I've got the Paradam here. I've got the Barillo Cobra or something somewhere else, which I've used quite a bit, but I've never actually done a video on distortion as such. But now I've got like 4 or 5 of them. I think it's time for a distortion off. Oh, I've got the Normal up here. Yeah, the Normal from Neutral Labs that I built the other week. So I think it would be really good to do a Eurorack distortion face-off kind of thing, I think. But let's see if I can get these two in anyway. I might take the Paradam out for the minute. I don't know, it's got this lovely blue glow to it. No, what I'm going to take out, I'm going to take out the function junction, because I now have the Quart, which is kind of doing everything that this was doing. And again, it's a lovely module. It's a bit wide, but it does have a lot of good functionality in it. So that's going to be in my overflow case, I think. And so I can put these in instead. But the other, probably more important thing to put in, it's a flippin' Bastille pizza thing. You know, with all me wave shapey FME kind of thing. So then we'll get these 3 in. I think that's the plan. Oh no, I know I got this one. I also need to put this in, but this can go in the overflow case because this can go in a case by itself almost, because this is the audio interface from Bafako that I need to do some testing on, because I said that I would. So I really need to, because I'm a bit of a Windows man, and I connect it to my Surface, and they want to test things out because they're all very much Mac orientated over in Bafako. And so this is an audio interface like the Expert Sleepers ES8, ES9, just 4 channels in and out, USB, nice and beautifully placed on the front there. So I need to do some testing with that, so you can bring in modulation from your laptop, from your DAW, that kind of thing. So, but before I worry about this one too much, let's get the pizza in to add that to our little jam. Let's do that. That one. See, it's already piling up over here. I also need to spend more time with the Fasalume Vega, which is providing the snare and the hi-hats. It does that really well. And also the Allen synthesis and the consequential on the Euro Pi I've got here, which is essentially running a bit of a grids firmware. And I've only just played with it. I haven't really gotten to the bottom of what it's doing, but I'm really enjoying the fact that I'm not having to program a beat and then program another beat just to do something simple. I can just turn it on, move a couple of knobs, and it's doing a drummy thing that I can control to some degree. And it's doing fills, and that's just the best thing. I just need to bend it a little bit more to my will so I know exactly what it is that it's doing. Oh, right, okay, so this is going to be harder to plug in. Oh, rats and arses. So what am I going to do then? Maybe I need to bring... I don't want to lose the bass drum, but I'm not using it at the minute, but am I? What would be better? I mean, the pizza is going to be best there, definitely, but maybe I should be bringing those drums all the way down here where the rest of the drums are, so they're out of the way. But I like my combination of noise, plethora and Percol. They work really well together. But those two would fit where the AJH Synth's bass drum is. But the bass drum is really nice. But then I'm using the kick in the kick-ain. Oh, the dilemmas! Dilemmas. What can you say about the steps burst generator and steps random voltages? I can't say anything about those. I don't know what they are. I'm afraid. Right. Okay, make a decision. Let's move the drum bit over here so the drums are all together. Because maybe scattering stuff about the place is not the answer. Oh, but this is this is not good either. How am I going to get to that? Oh, jeez. Well, how is that plugged into anything? It's all caught up. Oh, no, there it is. See, this is a slight flaw in these Arturia cases, is that all the power connectors are kind of are pushed up into one row. So when you're trying to put modules in the bottom row, you can't get to them. After later audio, okay. So what am I going to do? I could leave the plug-in in, but I've still got to get one in there. So I'm going to have to take the mixer out. Ho hum. Such as things and life and that. It's all off, isn't it? Yeah. So okay, I'll take this out. This has got a bigger cable on it, hasn't it? So that has to come out. Is that actually in that one? Yes, it is. Okay, good. Good fella. I like you. I'll keep you to hand. So think about what you're doing, boy. Right. Why is that not coming? Ooh, pulled a knob off. Not a good sign. Why is it not coming? What am I stuck? Am I stuck under that? Is that where I'm stuck? Okay, open heart surgery. That one's in there. Do you see what I mean? Do you see how hard it is to access from this other row? It's the right pain. Bad design. Sorry, Arturia. Some good ideas in here, but also that one is not one of the best. That looks a bit wonky to me. If I pulled on that one already. Right, what am I doing? I'm pulling these out. Oh, that's a big fat one too. So Vega going in here. That is a module to which I would like to get to the bottom of a lot more. Yeah, I modded the case, right, and put the power modules inside. I drilled some holes in the side here to pass power cables out, and then have combined a single power supply, laptop power supply, to run both cases, which is an extraordinary thing to do. I'm an awesome modder of things. It was fun. I did a video all about it. Go and check that out. It's quite interesting. And most people have told me not to do it. And they're probably right. But I've had this running a lot. I've left it on overnight a few times. It's completely fine. It's not overheating, anything like that. It's good. It's good. Yeah, and I like having the extra space. I was annoyed the fact that it had external power like that. I thought that was completely unnecessary. But again, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, Arturia did such a great job on these cases and then made a couple of really kind of like head-scratching decisions. One over where the bus boards are. I mean, it makes sense because of the nature of the way the case, the extrusion of the case, because you'd have to have two bus boards inside, so you know. But also that, and the fact that it had a power supply using up HP, just made no sense. No sense at all. But anyway, there we go. There we go. But I mean, it's an interesting thing about modular, I find, that it's such an individual hobby, is that somebody somewhere designed it, and when they probably spoke to somebody who knew what they were talking about and for whom it is perfect. It's just perfect that way, or it was at least a compromise they could deal with, and it's absolutely as valid as anybody else's look at it. But for me, it's just like, what did you do that for? What did you do it for? This mixer is just the best. Right, well, that's good. Look, I've now got those holes to fill. Yay! Right, let's get busy with that then. What am I sticking in there? Maybe I'll have room for the other thing. Maybe I'll get the stochastic back in there. Oh no, I mean, it's a beautiful thing, but it's an extra when I want extra beauty, or just independent beauty, I think. Oh, fiddly. I do have a few things to go back in. The one area I'm a little bit light on is effects, funnily enough. That will be another area to look at some point. -12. -12 is the red stripe, yeah. It's not a hobby. Yeah. What, collecting things, building things, rearranging things, spending an inordinate amount of time and money on? Not a hobby? Can I get that in there without having to take something out of the top? Oh, let's try it. Let's try it. Feeling it. get this the right way around. Negative, red stripe, 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 negative. This is major. This is a major refit. This is quite, I'm feeling quite inspired, excited by it all. Now, let me just check around and see if there's anything else that I'm supposed to be getting in here that I've forgotten about. Oh shit, yeah. Now, where are we? Now these things I don't understand at all. These are from Dan. What's his face? Well, DPW. He said, "Oh yeah, go and have a go." I went, "Oh yeah, all right then." And I don't I don't know. I haven't plugged them in yet, I confess. But I keep picking them up, looking at them, going, I don't really know what I'm doing with it. What am I doing with that? I think that's most of them. Well, I'll see if I can fit those in a minute. See, I've got a whole load of stuff now all over the place. The idea was that I was getting rid of stuff, not taking stuff off my table. So here, am I going to put in a row of distortions? Try those out, the Punk and the Rat? I think so. I think that would be a good idea. Maybe I'll keep the Paradigm in then. Then I could perhaps get the mini mod tap tempo. What's it in? All right. Cool. Then we'll have another play. I'm kind of itching to have another play at the moment. An artistic musical lifestyle. Yeah. So what you mean, like a cult? My mum always said I could be a vicar. So, you know, I could run a cult, no bother. No bother! We could be the 9 o'clock service all over again. Awesome would that be? Pretty awesome, I think you'll find. Now, what did I do with all me like cables and that? Is that a spare? That's a spare. Get that in there. Cool. Funny. That's upside down. There we go. So that's one. And then the Rat is this one with the other loom band. Appreciating the loom bands. Goes in there. Quite so not wanting to go in. Oh, I've got a wayward. No, is it these wayward LEDs? That's interesting. What's going on there? I got a couple of bent LEDs. I think they're not letting it go in, are they? Are they letting it go in? Oh, how weird. What am I going to do about that? So, because the rails are so thick. But they're not unusually anything, are they? Oh. Oh, right, bit of a flaw there. Oh no, if I squash it, if I apply enough force, I haven't drunk anywhere near enough of my beer. Can't get it in. I just want to try out. Oh yeah, I mean, if I can get this in as well while I'm here, that would be interesting. I mean, I've got things like, say, like the DivKid Oct and Moots to go back in. So I don't know that this is going to stay. Although, I mean, the Turing machine could come out, but the Turing machine is just so too much fun. It works like in every situation. And now that I've got my quad quantizer back in, you know, I can do a lot with that. Actually, that's one thing. I could lose one of my... Now I've got the quad quantizer back in. If I can learn that a bit better, I could get rid of the microscale. That would free up a bit more space. What was that in? I just feel my way. Beautiful. Nice. Okay. All right. Okay. Getting to a point of turning it on again. What's more important? This or the mutes? I can always turn the kick drum down. I don't have to mute it. So maybe I just squeeze this in at the minute. Do I have another slot? I do not. Oh, num num num. What to do? What to do? What to do? Have you ever thought of employing Oompa Loompas? That's not a bad idea. But then does it become like art, where the artist is directing somebody else to paint the picture, and then you have to spend all your time arguing over whether that's actually art or not, if you're, you know, if you're just signing it at the end of the day. But then that's all a computer is, isn't it, really? That's just a bunch of Oompa Loompas. Right, that goes back up there. That, if I did that right, is now tangled up in a load of stuff. Good. Right. developed a gap again. Okay. That punk module, that's pretty special. So how am I going to get something to my pizza? I could use my lovely arpeggiator over here, which I enjoy a great deal. That might be good. Let's... Okay, I've got this clock coming out of here, which this one I had going into there. I am on a wonk somehow. Look at that. I think it's this. I think it's my table. My two worktops kind of meet about here at a bit of a camber. Canva? I don't know. A bit of a wonk. So I think that's the problem there. But it's not a major problem. It's a small problem. That on the other hand, I don't know what that was. This is trigger. Oh no, that's the trigger from the kick drum there. The snare is what that is. And then some kind of rattly thing. My favourite bunch of notes. Then I was going to split the clock into my divider. Then take a slower clock into my quantizer, the arpeggiator quantizer thingy I have from Mosaic. Now, I think I need that out. It's going to go into the pizza. Where does it go? There. And then what happens to this? Does it just go straight to the mixer? Main. Loving it already. What's that? See what happens when you turn on this quantizer. It's stuck to having the slew on. So I've got to remember how to do this. There we go. I want it on the same notes as the other one. Maybe. Oh, I'm making a right hash of this. Sorry. Oh, I'm hating that already. There. Well, I don't know about you, but I had a lovely time. Good Lord, it's 11:30. Sorry about that. Ooh, wow. Gosh, well, heck. That was fun. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, there's lots to play with in there, I think. I sort of dragged everything in. I didn't manage to get the voltage controlled LFO in. I wasn't sure. Didn't even know where to start with that one. But the multi-burst envelopes is fun. That's I don't know if I'm doing what it's supposed to do, if I'm using it correctly as such, but that seemed to be what it wanted to do. Either on the VCA to start with or on a filter. That was kind of cool. Haven't quite nailed down exactly what I'm doing on the Cosmo filter. It certainly gave a lot of stuff. I need to sit it down by itself so that I fully understand what's going on. Because as normal, the Jove was just behaving itself perfectly, doing exactly what I thought any filter would ever do ever. That's what the Jove does. And when that doesn't translate to another filter, which it rarely does. I mean, I've had it's very different depending on which filter you use, which I've always found a bit surprising. I expect them all just to work the same, and they don't, which of course they shouldn't. So it's going to be interesting sort of digging into this a bit to work out what all the different bits sort of really do. But it has the oscillator going through that pairing is so nice. It had this real a beefiness to it down at that bottom end that was just superb. And then the pizza, what on earth is that about? Now, every now and again, right, I buy a digital module thinking that it's something that I should know about and I should use. Like I've got a Basimilus somewhere, Basimilus Arteritus Ultra, and I don't know what that's supposed to do. I keep sticking modulation in it and hoping for the best. And sometimes I get something that vaguely approximates something that I might want to have for a bit, and then it's the same all the time, and then I can't quite work it out. So I have these little adventures in digital modules which often don't go particularly far, but I have a hope there of finding something exciting. The pizza, though, that was amazing. I kept finding these little very pure spots of sine waves, I assume, that were in there, which was really nice. Had struggled with the tuning to start with. I'll have to look into that a little bit, but it didn't seem to matter ultimately. But as for what's going on, I don't know. The shaping was really nice. I like the way, when I stuck it through the delay, it really took off once I'd enabled both sides. But yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. I'm not sure that's what I'm sure I saw DivKid's video and it wasn't anything like that, but that was really nice. I like the movement from those pure tones into something else, because usually digital modules are very in your face, I find, which is why I struggle with them a little bit. But this was just able to do lots of different things, which was good. Didn't really find a place for the surface. It brought something at one point and then didn't. It has that effect, I think. It's able to completely run something with those sort of acoustic picked sounds of strings, but it doesn't always fit right. It needs its own space. So I think when it worked is when I pulled everything else out, having just that and the pizza running. That was quite interesting. Then I just needed to drop it out again. Really, it doesn't need to be running all the way in the background. Yeah, that's what they say. The Basimilus is fun when you modulate, but it never it just then ends up producing sort of random noise, I suppose. But then maybe that's what you're after, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that was fun. That was really great. I pulled a sequence out of the variegate for the Surface, but I couldn't really hear properly what it was doing, so it just sort of did its thing. But otherwise, Turing Machine was playing the pizza like a good one. That was fabulous. Oh look, that's not plugged in. So what was I doing then? What was plugged in? Oh, I got confused. The quart, yeah, interesting. Again, I need to spend a little bit of time with it just so I absolutely know what it's doing. I just sometimes get confused over the whole basis of synthesis, VCAs, envelopes, that kind of thing. But it was doing what I expected, particularly on the Jove when I could hear it. And I think it was doing it here. I'd spend a lot of time fiddling with the wrong knob that wasn't actually doing anything, or was on the one that was muted. So obviously a little bit of more of a forethought on what goes into what, I think, would be useful at that point. Both the Punk and the Rat were quite nice there at the end. The Rat was running the whole, the pizza was running through that, and that got very juicy. Very juicy. The thing with distortion, I find, is that it needs the right sort of signal. You can't just put something through it and expect it to go. That doesn't seem to happen, because some things which are quite pure, I find, it just makes them slightly larger, which is kind of not what you're after. But you need something like, I mean, distortion works well on guitar because it's so full of harmonics, and that's what it needs. Cool. So on my list of things to learn about, I've still got to work out the quad quantizer and exactly what it is I'm doing with it, because I can turn notes on and off, I remember, every now and again, but I don't know what all the buttons do exactly. I need to spend more time with it. As with many things, but heck, I played for an hour, didn't I? That was fun. Kickane still kicking that kick through quite nicely. Good. So, any last questions, or we'll call it a night? An hour. Hey, Undermine Music, how you doing? What's the module in the upper left of the bottom case? This one? 8-step sequencer? From Wavephonics, I think, if that's what you're talking about, this one here. It's great. It's just 8 steps. I run it through a quantizer. The quantizer, I usually select my 4 favorite notes. Just run it through that, and it just cycles through 8 notes. Every now and again you switch it to less than that, because each of the 8 notes could be switched into a reset to send it back to the beginning again. It's just the most instant playable sequencer I know. It's brilliant, but it is just 8 notes. So I do need to find something which can do longer notes. I don't want to, if I can help it, I don't want to have to use the KeyStep Pro. I kind of feel that eventually I'm going to have to embrace a larger sequencer of some kind in order to do proper tracks, or some kind of song, or to add a little bit more structure. But I just resist it, because it just adds a level of complexity which I want to avoid if I can. I'd rather use a couple of little sequencers and use that. So, the 8-step and the variegate, which I love hate the variegate. It does brilliant work every now and again, and then it pisses me off. And then it does brilliant work again. But if there was something, I don't know. The arpeggiator on the Mosaic quantizer can work quite well at times, particularly with the Surface. I found that work. Didn't seem to work that well with the pizza on this occasion, but I wasn't sure that it was all tuned that well, particularly. I should make notes or something, and then do something on purpose. Right. Check out the Behringer 960. Yeah. It doesn't really, it's not very descriptive, is it? It could be anything. SQ1, yeah, but again, that's not that many notes, is it? I mean, it's 2, but it's not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but maybe. Thanks. CR Jensen 77. No worries. Yeah, my time to sleep too. Did you build any of your sequencers? Only the one over here on the Erica Synths row that I've got in this case over here. I think. Yeah, I think so. I do have I've got a black sequencer, which is beautiful but big. Hermod I could use, but again, big. I've got a Sweet 16 somewhere, which I've never really used properly, which I should do. As a sequencer, I could drag out the Analog Solutions one again. Or go back to the stochastic inspiration generator. Get really into that. So many choices. But, as I say, the Wavephonics is just so beautifully simple. It's just a lovely, lovely thing. There's nothing that's going to trip you up. Yeah, Hermod is a bit of a head thing. And O control, yeah, maybe. I'm not cool enough to make noise, really. It doesn't seem to work for me. Whenever I get something by make noise, I just feel inadequate as opposed to creative, and that's not a good place to be. You know, imposter syndrome is bad enough without having it reinforced by make noise making you look stupid. Good, right. So what didn't I get in there? I didn't get in the FACO that I need to start working on. The AC/DC. I think that needs to go in a different case. Maybe I'll work on that up there. Give a bit of a refit. Yeah. Good plan. Don't know when I'll do that though. Now can we moving on to other things again for another little bit. So good. Oh yeah, the 185. I do have one of those, and that's a fabulous thing. Again, it takes up a bit of space. Maybe what I need another row. Need another row. I mean, I've got this wonderful 1U row here, right, which I thought was a blinder of an idea, in which I've got the 6 Quenser from Tubatech, which I was going to use to program my drums before somebody sent me this EuroPie with a Consequencer firmware on it. And that is just driving my drums without me having to really think about it. When really, I should be programming my own drums with this. And, you know, I need to decide what I'm going to do. Because these little 1U things, which are brilliant, but they also take up a lot of space. I mean, including my Molten's holes down here, which don't need to be there. Everyone needs another row. But I could pull that whole thing out and put the 185 in. Would that be a better use of space? You have to be brutal with these things. Oh, you have to... Oh, just change it. Oh, I love the way that looks now. That's just ace. I might have to, hang on. It looks like sort of grown up. Somehow. Boo, 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 doo, doo, doo. Sorry, stand by. What am I doing? Yeah. Oh. Whoa. Right, so I will leave you to yourselves. Thanks ever so much for joining me. That's I've appreciated the conversation. That's been nice. That's been nice. So cool. Yeah, I will leave it there. I'll cut you off. Need a bigger shed. Need a bigger everything. Really, it's always stuff. Take it easy. More coming soon. I've got lots of new modules to do videos on and to review and to think about. I also have a Moog Mavis now to do, and I thought what I thought I'd do with that, because there's, I mean, everyone has one and is doing fabulous videos on how fabulous it is. So I thought I would do like an anti Mavis video to try to talk it down. I don't know. That seems silly, doesn't it? No, what I thought I'd do a Mavis versus West Pest video. I think that might be the plan, and that might be interesting. People always ask me with my West Pest review to compare it and contrast it to the No Coast, of course, which I can't do because I don't have one. But I do have now a Mavis which has the wave folder in, and maybe it'll be interesting to play the two off against each other, because yeah, I think that might be interesting. Just trying to give a different comparison, because there's undoubtedly it will sound great and be great, but is it really what we want from Moog is my question, I suppose. So that might be different. That'll give me a reason for doing a video rather than just the same as everybody else. That's my feelings. Otherwise, that lots of modules, lots of DIY, lots of stuff. I have software to review, all sorts. Busy. And I might have bought a reel-to-reel machine as well, just on top of it all. So I will leave you with that, and yeah, thanks very much. Cheers. Go and make some tunes and stuff. I'll go over here and turn it all off. But thanks. See you later.